everyone, this is Shauna Fitzgerald with Visually Speaking, and I am here with
Kyle Martin. We're going to unpack this today.
And
I'm Diavion Johnson, aka Deidre from Abstract Royalty Photography.
And this evening we will be interviewing the lovely
Tamette with T'Farri Soulutions, your favorite mindset coach.
And we are going to talk about her book that you co-wrote.
Yes, co-author.
And it is called
Joyfully Courageous.
Okay.
And my chapter, 145 years, freedom ain't free.
Now, tell us, how did you come up with that title?
Let's unpack it.
Let's unpack that.
Right? Let's unpack it.
That's a word right there.
So how did I come up with that title? I'm gonna cut straight to the point, no chaser. My children's father is incarcerated for 145 years. And so I am free. He is physically, right? He is physically in prison, but the cost of my children not having their father is a heavy cost that is mental, emotional, physical, like all of the costs. It costs something. So while though I am able to walk around and go as I please, there is still a chain and ball on me at times.
That's deep.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if I could jump to the scripture that you have
sure
definitely.
thing.
It says, and God said, let us make man in our image, after our likeness, and let them have dominion over the fish of the sea, and over the fowl of the air, and over the cattle, and over all of the earth, and every creeping thing that creepeth upon the earth. So God created man in his own image. In the image of God created he him. Male and female created he them. And that's from Genesis chapter 1, verses 26 through 27 of the King James Version. And what made you choose this scripture to add into your book?
Yeah. So on that journey, there were so many different chapters within the chapter of the book, right? There's so many. I just shared one in the book, one chapter, but there were so many different phases of this. There's us meeting, there's the dating, there's the proposal, there's marriage, there's all these different points that occurred. And I chose that verse because that was more so on the healing side. Like when I realized I had to remember whose I am, the power that I have, the strength that I have, and have been given and gifted from my ancestors, from generation to generation, from God. And so I just had to, I used to, there would be times I'd be like, oh, I'm just a single mom. I can't do this. I can't do that because I'm a single mom and it's just me and I don't get child support. I don't get anything. I'm just this single mom. And this was this title I just wore. And I still had to kind of fight that mindset. In all honesty, this is all my identity of just single mother. Single yes.
Yeah.
I'm made in the image of God. Okay. Period. So there is a power that I possess, and not to forget it, and not to allow anyone else to forget when you're going through certain things, and you have, narratives that society tells you about who you should be, what you should be. If you make this failure, then you're this person or that person. But that scripture right there reminds us that we're made in his image. And this is the same God that can tell the waves how far to go up, when to stop, and when to go back. And so if I'm made in this image, there's the failures, the setbacks, the mistakes, they don't define, that's not my identity. This is who I am. So going from divorce and, you know, just the guilt of, you know, I've married this person, you know, who wasn't who I thought they were, and, you know, I should have known better. This is my fault. You know, how did I get here? Just all these, the weight of guilt, you know, from mistakes. And it's just like, you can release those thoughts and feelings and just remember who you are. And you're made in his image. His word says so. And his word is bond. Like, if you can lean on anything, you can lean on that. So that's what made me choose it. It's just not forgetting your identity when you've messed up, or you feel like you've messed up in life. Don't allow that to define your identity. And just remember what God promised you, what he told you, who you are.
Yeah. I love that. Yeah.
Was it difficult putting your journey in words?
Absolutely. There were times I had to stop. I had to cry. I had to really ask myself, like, do I forgive myself? Is this actually resolved? I thought it was, but then when I started writing it out, I'm like, oh, this is still deeply rooted up in here.
Yeah.
And now I'm like digging to try to get that to the end of that weed to pull out. And so it was very, very challenging. A lot more than I expected. I thought I could just tell the story because, I mean, I lived it. I could just tell it. But, you know, when you're telling a story, it's also like you have to replay these images and these situations in your head. And then when you have all these situations, this roller index that you're going through, then picking out, stop right there. That's the one I want to pull out. And then it's so much pain through some of them. And it's like, okay, we're going to stop and pick this one. So it's like just reliving this pain. And just the reminder just to learn from this stuff. The pain is, I learned that the pain is sometimes good, because it's just like I don't ever want to go back and make these type of decisions again in my life.
How much grace did you have to give yourself as you were writing this?
A lot, because at one point I was just like, I don't know if I'm going to be able to continue. Like, I don't know if I want to do this anymore. It was cute at first. I'm going to be an author. And I'm
like, wait.
Until you started writing the truth, right?
Yeah. It's like, I don't know anymore. This isn't fun. This isn't fun anymore. So there was a lot of grace, especially on those days where I just had to close the writing and shut down for a week or 2 weeks to say, I can't right now. I just can't. So there was quite a bit of grace that I had to give myself, for sure.
When I read a bit of it, and one thing that hit me when I read it was, I ain't gonna change. I ain't gonna ever change. I know to anybody who hears that, they already know in a way what that means. For you, as being someone who kind of saw the red flags, or saw the caution words when you interact with him in that hair salon, when he was doing his hair, and then from there to a date, from the date to the proposal, from the proposal to the child to now here, and you replay I Ain't Never Gonna Change. What was that like for you?
I would say I felt like a fool the whole time. At that point when he said that, I felt like a fool, because there were signs, but it was like, am I seeing this? Like, he's telling me one thing, but I'm seeing other things. And I guess I felt like a fool to myself. Like, I kept fooling myself. Like, there was something different when it was clear what was right there. And I think just wanting to believe that what I was seeing wasn't really the case. Yeah. And then realizing that was the case. And he had to come out and tell me, you know, like, you are you stupid? Like, you don't see this, you don't know. And I'm just like, but you've told me something else. And I'm the type, like, when you say it, like, can be literal. Like, that's what you meant, right?
Yeah.
So, you know, but when you're you know, my mom always say, wash your feet, wash your actions. And I just felt like I was a fool. Like, I knew better, and I didn't stay true to my gut. I didn't trust myself. And that's one thing that was really hard for me, is the fact that I didn't trust myself. And why didn't I not trust myself? Why did I put so much trust in this person to do and be who they said they were?
Why?
Are you asking me that now?
Yeah, I'm asking you.
I feel like I have this gift that sometimes is a curse of seeing the good in people. And it's one of those things, like, if you, I want to say, if you judge a fish on its ability to climb a tree, then you're going to look at the fish like, what can you do? So in that situation, when I say like it was a curse, I feel like it wasn't that time to be looking at the good in somebody. That wasn't the time for that. It was the time to just see what it was and believe it. So why didn't I trust myself? I didn't know that I wasn't trusting myself at the time, in the midst of it. I didn't know. I felt like I was so focused on trying to honor God. Because, you know, there's fornication and there's marriage and you're supposed to be married, and I was just wanting to focus on pleasing God. So I was like, okay, what do I got to do to please God? That's what I want to focus on. And I felt like if I was going to keep doing this, then I needed to do this. So I felt like I was trusting myself and doing the right thing. Even though there was this little voice that we often ignore, that'd be a quiet whisper, but super loud. And I was like, no, I'm doing the right thing, 'cause I'm going to get married. And it's going to be great after that. You know, he's gotten baptized. We're going to live these Christian lives and do what's right, bring honor to God. And it's interesting how it unfolded, but I think God is still getting the honor out of all of it. Just not in the way that I thought it would go.
I mean, you've been blessed with 2 beautiful children.
Yes.
That is the honor right there.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. 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 Yes.
Yeah. Absolutely.
But yeah, it didn't go the way I thought. The ultimate goal was accomplished, but it just did not. My plan, and that's the thing with trusting myself, you know. I thought that I was, you know, my plan was the right plan. And I'm like, how much did I really consult with God or people of stronger faith? And if I would have asked them, should I? Would they have said yes? I did ask one lady, and she was like, I've learned what she learned about herself. She could marry anybody. She could learn to love anybody. But I think while we can do that, we cannot take accountability for what someone else does.
Right.
And so this was that situation. I couldn't carry his cross. I only had mine, and that's why I had to leave that situation. Yeah. But I prayed and I asked God for signs constantly. Give me a sign. And when our lives were physically in danger, I knew physically I had to get out. Because there was immediate danger. And so, yeah. I just said a little touched here and there, but I don't know. It, you know, talking about these things, we lived it over again, just thinking about how dangerous the situation was and the decisions that had to be made. Like I said, for physical safety, but then it was just like, oh, this is a spiritual warfare. I mean, like, this is a really all-out war. Like, you've told me that you ain't gonna change.
Mm-hmm.
And if that's the case, like,
He ain't never gonna change.
yeah, this
Literally.
is a dangerous situation for anybody attached to you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, yeah.
And I could only imagine how heartbroken it was to hear that I ain't ever gonna change from someone that you put unyielding faith in.
Yes, took their last name, changed my name, gave my kids your name. My whole identity changed.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And so it's definitely one of those things that's hard to come back from. When you've had to change your identity for someone, you've changed, you've accepted their family, y'all are one.
Yeah.
And then to have to pull it apart, what God has brought together, that's a hard thing. And even the divorcing thing, because, I didn't file for divorce because I was trying to please God. And so I felt like I did not have the grounds for that.
Right.
That would allow me to remarry. Now, I could have, but I felt like God has certain things in place where if you want to remarry, then this is how you should go about it. But I had to study that on my own. And when I studied, I found, like, if that person say they leaving and want to go, then you free.
Mm-hmm.
And thank God he filed for divorce against me. It hurt my feelings because I'm like, me? Are you serious?
Yeah.
You idiot! Like, but it freed me, so I'm grateful.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I have a question. Do you think it was God that made him divorce you since you were unable to do that in that time of your life?
Good question.
That is a good question. Was it God? For my side, yes. For his side, he had ill intentions behind it.
Mm-hmm.
His intentions were behind the custody battle. And it was like, if I file for divorce, I can have favor for getting custody over our son. Because we have a son and a daughter, but the day I got home from the hospital with my daughter is one of the first times I left. Because he wouldn't leave. I couldn't kick him out. I tried. He wouldn't leave. And so I kept telling him, even while I was pregnant, like, you're going to need to leave once I have this baby. He was like, I ain't going nowhere. Mm-hmm. But he was with me every step of the way. That's why I was like, he was with me for both deliveries, at every doctor's appointment. Like, he's a great father.
Mm-hmm.
To the best that he can be, because his actions on the other side did not show that he was the best father he could be, in my opinion. But he thought he was doing what he could do to provide. So I would say, with his intentions, I don't think it was God behind his intentions. But I think for me having to be still, and not trying to take it into my own hands, God handled it in a way that I couldn't even imagine. Because I thought about doing all kind of stuff. Me and my friends were like, we're going to go there and we're going to set them up. We're going to do this and that. And my mom, she was just like, just let the Lord handle it. Just let God handle it. And when I say when God handles it, it is handled.
He handles it.
It's handled.
Yeah.
And I hate that, this has happened to him. I do. We still pray for him. We still encourage him. And it's really disappointing, like, that many years, he didn't kill nobody, like, But he was, slowly killing people. And which I would try to tell him, you gotta stop. And I begged and I pleaded. And it was like, he had to tell me, I'm not stopping.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, so you was just...
It's a choice.
Yes, you're now the choice.
It's a choice.
I'm like, oh, we on whole two different pages. So I was like, yeah, I gotta go.
What was the hardest passage to write on paper?
The beginning, that first line. First two sentences was the hardest. I remember it as clear as day. And for somebody to, it's like seeing Satan just take over a person. And so with seeing that, it was like, oh my goodness. You know, you could feel God in the midst. You know, you can feel when the Holy Spirit is around. But when you feel satanic spirits, it's like, oh my goodness. So that was the hardest, just remembering that moment. Well, it was that one, and then the one where I had to slide my baby across the floor because the house was getting shot up.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, that was another tough one. Because I definitely could have been dead.
Yeah. Precious. So I know with writing that it brought up a lot, and it took a lot to be able to even put that on paper, not to even formulate the thoughts and the memories of everything that happened, but to actually formulate the words to write down, to do that. Do you feel that with getting that out, with writing that, putting it out to the world, that is your healing phase with that?
So many answers went through my head. It was like, no. Then it was like, absolutely. Then it was like...
Christmas. Yeah.
You know, first it was no, because it was like, I felt like I was already healed, you know? And, you know, I went to therapy and I'd done coaching, so I was already healed. But then when I still have tears rolling down my face as I'm writing this, am I healed? I don't know. It still hurts, right? But then I want to say absolutely, because it was just like, I can talk about this.
Yeah.
I can actually not just tell the ladies at church who I need to pray for me, but I can tell the world and not break down crying and just know that I overcame it, you know? So your question was I healed?
Do you feel like that has, well, at least part of your healing?
Yeah, for sure. I think, yeah, I would say, just to be able to talk about it freely on camera with other people and just be like, yo, this is what God did for me. He brought me through. So, you know, where you think you see this version of me and you get that exposure, there's also these other things that I had to do to get to here. And this was not an overnight job. This did not come without making an investment into people and to resources. Like I said, I did therapy. I did coaching. I went to church. I did all the prayer groups, the prayer morning calls, the evening prayer morning call, the evening prayer call. So there was a lot I had to pour back into myself to get to this point. And I'm proud of myself for that.
As you should be.
It was some work. You know, I could have just gave up. And there were times, if it wasn't from my mom and my dad, it was just like, how? You know, when, where, what? What do I do next? I don't know. Because I had to leave things. My life changed instantly. More than once with this whole ordeal. Because you got to understand, I left before he got locked up. So there's a chapter of before he even was incarcerated. But then he became incarcerated. And when he became incarcerated, I did not have to only worry about the Georgia Bureau of Investigation, another form of the FBI, coming for me, police coming for me. There was things in the paper about the Mexican drug cartel. So I would be even scared to get out of my car sometimes because I'm like, is somebody, like, who is that pulling up? Should I just, is this an undercover person that's trying to, are you undercover? And it's like, nah, I'm just think you're nice.
Yeah.
Like, but I don't know. The phone could be tapped. I don't know. Like, so there was so much that I ain't never experienced in my, I ain't never experienced nothing like that in my life.
Yeah.
You know, so girl, I forgot the question, but I'm just thinking, I'm just thinking like, you know, there were just so many different phases of healing through so many different parts of this scenario, and all of this stuff happened like in like less than 2 years.
Yeah.
Do you often get resurgence of these feelings?
September's a hard month for me. Again, going to the hospital, about to have a baby. Get home, you know, you got all your bags, had the baby home now. Instead of just chilling with the baby home now, my mom and dad is here and we're driving back to North Carolina. And I had to leave my son. I felt like I had to leave my son behind. I left my son behind. And that was because he was just, it was like, if you take our son, I know where your mama work at, I know where your daddy work at, like, don't F with me. And it was just like, okay, I need to come with a plan. And so my plan was, he was very protective over our son. My plan was to get the police on my side. Y'all do y'all police thing, because this big old Georgia man is might attack me and my family. So police. And I did not. The legal system is a system that if you don't understand it, you are on the losing end. Yeah. It don't matter what the truth is. It don't matter what right is. If you don't understand how to maneuver in this system, you lose. And so things come up September because, you know, that's when I left and a lot of stuff was going down. You know, I was trying to still keep the family together. I was like, just come back to North Carolina. You know, just come to North Carolina. You can start over here. We could just start over. You can just let it go. We can start over. And it was like, I ain't going nowhere. And so September's hard. Holidays, Thanksgiving, Christmas used to be hard. Going to other people's birthday parties was hard. Like kids' birthday parties. I be crying sometimes. Like before I go in, when I leave, so I'm like, they got their families, they mom and dad, the mom and daddy there. They don't have their dad, you know. Yeah. I'm just out here by myself again. I'm the single mama. Yeah. I was a single mama. And I tried to do right. I tried. And so, those pity parties, I'll call them sometimes, come up and I gotta pull myself like, girl, bye. Look at all this was fuel, girl. You took off, you know. But it was it's sometimes difficult too. Yeah.
Can I ask you a question as well?
Yes.
So first I want to say that I commend you because ever since I've known you, since 2021, I believe, you've always had a smile on your face. And even your kids, they've been the sweetest. I absolutely love your family.
Thank you.
I had a whole, it felt like an hour conversation with your son before. Yeah. But what I want to ask is for young women and mothers that have gone through what you have gone through in your book or similar situations, what piece of advice would you give to them right now?
Girl, you stronger than what you give yourself credit for. You can do it. And it's going to take community. You're going to have community. There are going to be people, places, and things to help you get through. But you can do it. Whether you got 1 kid, 2 kids, 3 kids, 4 kids, 5, you can do it. You can do it. You were made in the image of God. And so that is something just the strength that we ain't really fully tapped into. until our back is against the wall. And when your back is against the wall and you have no choice, and you're like, oh, I didn't know that was in me. So, like, you know, for example, I was on maternity leave, left my job at the end of my maternity leave, and did not have a job, 2 kids. I'm like, daycare, where is that coming from? You know, how am I don't know. So I got a job. I reached out to a friend, got a job in Greenville while I was living here. Greenville is an hour and a half away. I had a newborn. I would drive an hour and a half there and back every day. And then I would drive 6 hours to Georgia every Friday to see our son. And that's because I was actually court ordered to pay for him to come down, his hotel and his gas, for me to see our son.
Wow.
But he was a very prideful man. He did not like taking money from women. So he said, if you want to see him, you're going to have to come up here. I'm not bringing him down here. Court, this is somebody who don't care about the law, right? So that don't mean nothing to them.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do what you gonna do. I'm not doing nothing. So I was like, we're gonna make sure you see him. So I had to drive 6 hours. So it was this strength. I got a newborn. I'm up all throughout the night, still having to commute, still having to pour into people all throughout the day. And I still make stuff happen. And I did it. So it's this strength. It's the strength you got that you ain't fully tapped into. But it is there. That I know it's a matter of fact.
Yeah.
So how was it for you to, well, I guess actually I have a 2-part question. The first part is, was there moments or periods of time where you started doubting God throughout it? And my second part of it is, when you chose to stay afloat with him, how important was it to be obedient to whatever his word was?
Ooh.
Ooh. That's heavy loaded.
It is.
It's a heavy topic.
You know? I definitely question God. Because I'm like, bruh.
Yeah.
Come on now. Because I'm doing the right thing. You know, I am going to church, I'm praying, I'm telling other people about God. Why are you letting this happen? I'm still not even doing him dirty, and I really could set him up.
Yeah.
I really could. And I'm not. I've been trying to do the right thing the whole time. You know, outside of the fornication, you know, I was trying to do right. And why me? Why would you do this to me? I'm a good person. I do right by people, you know? I didn't understand it. And it was a couple of times I didn't understand it. That was one time when I was going through it, but when I got out of it, and I'm so used to being independent, and I had to stay at my parents' house for like 5 years. Yeah, like 5 years. And I was ready to have my own. So I'm like, why do you still have me here? I'm ready to have my own place.
Yeah.
You know, I can't, you know, I don't understand. Get me out of here. And it is so, I didn't realize it. God was changing so much in my character. Character work is not like going to the gym, lifting weights, trying to eat right, and you lose weight. It's a different kind of transformational experience when you're working on character. It is oftentimes extremely uncomfortable. It can feel quite tumultuous and heavy. But character work is that's some stuff like between you and God, where he does something on the inside of you. Where you thought, oh, I'm a giving person. No, you learn how to be more giving, especially when you go more without. So, you know, those lessons I had to learn, I thought I was here, but he dug deeper in me and churned more in me that I didn't even know was gunk in me. I realized I had looked at, I felt so bad about being a single mom because of how I looked at single moms before.
Yeah.
And then I became one, and it's like, oh, I used to be like, how can why would they pay to get their, nails done, but they ain't got this or that, essentials. But I realized now, like, this is a form, they needed this self-care because they was about to lose it. Some of them, you know what I'm saying? They needed to do something nice for themselves. And if this was it, then that was going to be it. So it gave me a deeper level of empathy for folks in situations where I thought I didn't judge. Oh, no, now you can, I understand. You ain't even got to say no more. I understand, because it be like that sometimes. So, I would say, I didn't realize the work that God was doing, but I had to release. I kept trying to fight it. And when I let go, that's when the blessings started to come. When I just like, have your way. Have your way looked like I started getting comfortable in this space I was in. Uncomfortably comfortable. And what that looked like is like I started a little garden here. I would, grow stuff because it's like I'm gonna be here a while. Might as well just accept it. And as soon as I started accepting what God was, instead of trying to resist, say, no, I should have this. It should be this way. But when I started to accept what God gave me and that his grace was sufficient, this is sufficient for me. This will have to do. I will have peace. Whether I have a little or a lot, I will accept this as good. I won't complain. I won't beg for nothing else. I'm just going to accept what it is. That's when things started to change for me. And blessings just started coming to me. I applied for a job at Central twice. The first time I didn't get it. And I was like, how? I'm super qualified for this job.
Yeah.
That no was a yes to a position that gave more money, a better title, and more flexibility. So I had to just start accepting the yeses and the no's. And then just making sure I was in alignment with him. So, of course, things we do or society tells us is like, you do or it's okay to do. You going through it, smoke something, drink something. I tried to smoke it out, drink it out, sex it out, party it out. I did everything I could possibly do until it was just like, you got to just be still, baby, and let God do what he do best and serve others. Do something for somebody else. And I've always been a servant leader, but I really had to, and as part of that submission was being intentional about service. And so I got into the garden at Central, going through that divorce. And I was out there every day with my kids. But, just doing something for somebody else. I think a lot of times we wallow in what we have. I could be going off of the initial question. But I'm going to say, we wallow in what we have going on. And there's a season for that. And there's a passage in the Bible that talks about, when the Israelites were in captivity, and he told them, he said, go ahead and plant your vineyards. Get comfortable, right? No, I still got you, but you're going to be here. You need to sit in this a little bit because there's something you got to get out of this lesson. And I remember when I saw that verse, and I'm just grateful for everything, though, because it really changed. It changed me as a person. It brought me closer to God. So I don't even know if I answered the question, but it's that the moments that we don't want to go through, embrace it. That just embrace it. Just get close to it and watch God change whatever He needs to change in you, the situation, the environment, and He'll do it. He did it for me.
So, for you, I know your book is your testimony.
Yes.
And a lot of people will change from reading it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how you impact those people. But for me, you impacted me in a way at NCCU without even knowing it.
Mm-hmm.
Where I got most of my connections, well, my first bit of connections through you. And I was always looking at your smile. I was always playing with your kids in the back as your intern. Like, okay, what we about to talk about? We were having deep conversations. I don't even remember what I was talking about with him, but we were talking about some of everything. And you always had a smile on your face. Even whenever you were irritated, you were still smiling. At first, I was like, oh my gosh, how's she do it? Because when you in college, you're like, something's wrong with that lady. She's smiling even though I know she mad. But you was the most beautiful smile. But I was like, hold on a second, why is she smiling? I'm about to go crazy and she's just smiling. But that impacted me a lot because it started making me smile more. It impacted how I started appearing to other people too. Because I was thinking, if I'm already seeing her as this person that's always smiling, and that's my first thing that I remember about you is your smile, maybe I should smile more. Maybe I should make it so that people see, hey, I'm happy even if I'm going through something.
Yeah.
And from that, my business started blooming more, even with it being the very beginning. Just from watching you, it was more so like, okay, I want to be like her.
Oh, I appreciate that, girl. That was the guide you were seeing.
Because you never know what somebody goes through. You can't judge a book by its cover. And for a while, I was thinking, hold on a second. Why am I going through so much? But I can't smile. You've been through so much and you've kept a smile, so it just motivates more people.
Yeah. I realized you can have joy even in the midst of the storm. You can still have joy. You can have peace. You can have all these things even in the storm. And I experienced all these different emotions. You know, I had anger and rage and guilt and regret. And then I had got joy. And you know, I love my job. I love the work that I was doing, and just being able to help other people also brought that joy. But you can have all those things. Again, it's about what you choose. And even in the midst of it, you know, you can be sad one minute, happy the next. We have this power, again, that I don't think we really tapped into fully, of just this incredible power. So I still chose joy. When I showed up at that job, I chose joy. Now, at home at night, in my bed by myself, it was sadness, it was crying, wet pillow sheets, you know. But there's a time and a season for everything. So I was able to have both. And both are necessary. It's all necessary. There's a song I would listen to over and over and over again. That's another thing. I had to protect my gates. My ear gate, my eye gate, all the gates. Okay. I would do intermittent fasting. I ain't never thought I would be not eating something. Like, what? Yeah. That one I can't do, right? I can do anything else, but I ain't about to stop eating, right? But I had to, when I say he humbled me so much, it was like, Lord, I'm going to give this a try. I'm going to do a half a day. Then it was like, I'm going to do a whole day. It was like, I'm going to do a week. And, you know, so, not a week of not eating, but like, I'm going to just do vegetables or something like that. You know, I ain't going to eat no meat. So, I was very mindful of what I listened to. I listened to affirmations. I wrote affirmations. I wrote things if it was already so. On my mirror right now in my room, in my parents' house, because this is where I was at, you know. Okay. It was like, I am healed. I am whole. I am a homeowner. And I've said this before. I've had to I started buying a broom and a dustpan and oven mittens for a house I did not have, or there was no look in the future at all that I was going to have these things, that I had to start speaking things over my life as if it was already so, as if I was already living this life.
Yeah.
And then it came. So it was scriptures I kept in my heart. I memorized certain scriptures. And it was after I would write over and over, I have this, I have that, I am this, I am this, I am that. Until it became, and I still do that today.
Mm-hmm.
I still do that today. So there's powers in our words, you know, and our thoughts. And that's why I'm a mindset coach, because once I started to shift on what the possibilities could be for me, I was putting myself in this box, like, I'm a single mama. I can't, who gonna want me? I got 2 kids, you know? And I just felt so defeated at one point in my life, just so defeated.
Yeah.
But I had to shift my mind, so definitely got to shift my mind.
I have one more question for you. So did you see any change in your children as you were transitioning as well?
Changing my children. My children, they know strong mama. They have seen me, you know, they know a certain version of me, I would say. Because this is the version that their dad wasn't really in the picture. My son's about 2, my daughter was a newborn. You know, so she haven't really seen him yet since she was a newborn. And my son, you know, he had a little bit more time to be with him. But have they changed through my different, I just think of one example when I was smoking. And I was smoking a black and mild. Sorry. And I think I had set it down, and then I saw one of them come by and pick it up. I said, "Oh," they was fun. I said, "I'm done. Wait, I won't do that no more." I stopped. No, let me correct myself. I won't say I stopped. I would say I then start doing it when they weren't around. I started doing it when they weren't around. And then I got to a point where I stopped. Because I was just like, this ain't fixing nothing. This ain't doing nothing for me right now. I'm still mad, frustrated, angry. You know, so it's just like, I'm going to just feel the feelings. I think a lot of times we run from the feelings. We try to escape. And there's a certain point in time where you're going to have to feel it.
Yeah.
Sit in it.
Yeah.
And the sooner you sit in that feeling, the sooner you can get through it.
Mm-hmm.
But you got to stop running. And we got people 50, 60 years old still running.
Mm-hmm.
And I was courageous enough to say, I'm going to just sit in these messy, uncomfortable, like sand in your drawers feelings until I can get through it. And I always say, joy comes in the morning. So, have they seen me change? Like, had they changed? All right, to answer that directly, okay, this the one. My daughter, when she was younger, because at a point in time, I feel like as a single mom, you feel like you're in this survival mode constantly. Some of us make it out.
Yeah.
Most of us do not. It's constantly feeling like survival. I have to do this. I have to be here. I have to get this money. I got to do this. I got to do this. I got to do that. It ain't really a chance where we feel like we have the privilege to rest. You got these kids to take care of. And who else gonna do it if it ain't you? So in my survival mode, that's when we knew each other. I was on the go constantly. You know, we over here, we over there, we over here. The kids right with me. my daughter, her nails were down to like nubs. Like she barely had a nail. She would be biting them so much. They're shot. Cause I'm always like, we gotta go. We're gonna be late. And when I started saying no to things and started backing away, like I can't do this project anymore, I'm not doing this event, and saying no, her nails was longer than mine.
Wow.
And I didn't realize this anxiousness I was bringing onto my kids in my survival mode.
Mm-hmm.
And as I started to heal, the more calmness and peace that they were able to experience as well. So to answer your question, that is the change that I saw. As I started to slow, and I'm still trying to slow down, but when I see her start biting her nails and stuff like that, and my son, he articulates, he's like, I'm anxious, Mom. Like, this is making me anxious,
Mm-hmm.
you know. She's like me, like a silent, we ain't gonna say too much. We don't want to burden nobody. We just gonna internalize it. And but I saw how it would show up on her. So yeah. You gotta pay attention to there's the verbal, but then there's the nonverbals too.
Mm-hmm. Agreed. Any other question? You got anything else?
I'm good.
Any more you got?
I don't think I have anything else. Oh, where's your book sold at?
Yes, thank you for asking. I have a link. It's Kit Joyfully Courageous, but it's also on Amazon. So you can get the physical copy, you can get the ebook is available, and yeah, I can mail it to you, drop it off if you're local, all of that. But I'm just Joyfully Courageous is the book. I highly recommend that you get it. It's my story. It's other women's stories of just overcoming and just that strength. And you need a good word of encouragement when you're struggling and when you're low. You need a good word. So if you want that good word, in addition to the Lord's word, Joyfully Courageous is the book you want to get.
Okay.
Thank you, guys.
Tamette, we want to thank you again for allowing us in your space. And taking the time and sitting with us and going over your book.
Yeah, it felt like I literally took my dress and just did like this. Like just showed off everything. Oh, so I got my good drawers on.
Like that Marilyn Monroe.
No, this wasn't even no Marilyn Monroe. This is like
whole thing.
5-year-old.
Oh gosh, I'm weak.
Woo! But you know what? I just hope God get the glory at the end of the day, and that this encourages somebody to say that you can make it and you can get through. And God ain't done yet. He ain't done yet.
Not at all.
At all. At all. He always gets the last say, and he ain't done.
He ain't done yet. As long as you have breath in your body, he is not done yet. And you in your right mind, he ain't done yet.
All right, so Tamette, before we end off, you have just one more thing left to do.
Ew.
So you're gonna pick one of these cards. I shuffled as much as I could. You're going to pick one of these four, and you're just going to read it off, and you're going to share your perspective. And if anybody else wants to chime in, they have the freedom to do so.
Okay.
The only caveat is just be as genuinely honest as you can, whether it's good or bad.
I can do that, sir. Dun dun dun. Ew.
Oh, never mind.
Okay.
A single season can be lonely. What are some things you do to relieve loneliness?
Mm.
Why was the giggle in the background?
That single season, Lord.
Oh my gosh.
What are some things that I do to relieve loneliness? There are some things I did that works, but it's not best. And then there are some things that works, but it is the best, but it doesn't feel like it's the best. If that makes sense. Okay, so let me back it up. What works but doesn't feel the best is get as many jobs as you can. Work here, work there, work everywhere. Just work. Work until you're too tired, you can't think, and all you can do is work and sleep.
Okay.
And that's one of the things I did. I just got a whole bunch of jobs. And worked so much I didn't even have time to spend the money. But that was not the best. Especially with having kids. Because it's just like, you're not really raising them and watching them. Somebody else is, because you're always at work.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
So they don't really get to know who you are. You don't really have time to teach them or nothing, or, do homework. You ain't doing nothing because you're working.
Mm-hmm.
So that was what worked, but wasn't the best. Then what worked was the best, but didn't feel the best. And that is dealing with me. Sitting with me. Spending time with me. Figuring out, what do I like to do? So again, and not running. So to relieve loneliness, enjoy myself. And that has helped tremendously. Because now I'm like, somebody's trying to come in my space. I don't know. You're in my, this has been good over here. We got peace. We got joy. I don't know. So it's like, those are some things, is to just enjoy me. And assess, what am I running from by trying to escape this loneliness? What am I running from here? Just enjoy me. Yeah.
It's like that.
Anybody else?
So I will say for me, I was like you. I did everything to stay busy. I will say for when I first started modeling and acting, I was always on the go.
Mm-hmm.
Because that was my outlet of anything, of me being stressed out, of me, trying to figure out and to do something other than to be me. I would do that, and that kept me really busy. That took my focus and my thought process off of other things, and it drained me. At the end of the day, it was draining, very, very draining. It took a lot of toll on me. Yeah,
I get it.
So I did what wasn't what you thought was good, but wasn't good at the end of the day. Yeah, that was
understand.
Me. Yeah. Ooh.
I know.
Good.
I know.
Okay. Father God.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
I said, that's deep.
It is.
I have 3
Very
stages.
deep.
Sleep, work, workaholic, like y'all were saying. And then the stage I'm in now, because I'm still single. So I'm in the stage where I'm self-care and focusing on friendships.
Oh.
Me and my friends do a lot more. Like I told y'all earlier, I'm in a book club. I'm more active to keep myself from thinking, I'm single, I should go mingle. Yes, no. Because I learned, don't go by my plan, go by God's plan. It's not my timing, it's God's timing. So I can't go trying to mingle and then end up with someone wrong. Like, why did God do this to me? It's because you went looking for the wrong thing. You're not supposed to look, you're supposed to be found. So yeah, no, I'm not looking. I'm just chilling, minding my business.
Well, technically you are mingling because you're interacting. You're not mingling in that sense. But you're mingling to where you're interacting with other people and discovering yourself and your likes and dislikes and so forth more. So you will be focused on that.
I like the way you put that.
Yeah.
I like that. I like that.
I really feel the friendship. I really feel the friendship because sometimes you look around, it's like, if you're not invested in making no connections, then you have no connections.
Mm-hmm.
So I had to be intentional about reaching out to friends and like, let's do lunch, let's hang out. Because as I'm getting older, I'm like, ain't nobody, if I don't do this, it ain't gonna happen. I'm just gonna be by myself out here. So let me be more intentional about investing into maintaining those relationships with friends.
Yeah, I started taking that seriously when I'm like, I'm going on a picnic alone again. But then you think, I got people. Hold on a second. I don't have to wait for a man to be here.
Yes.
Hold on. I can go on dates with my girls. Hold on a second. Hey, hello?
Yes.
We can do all of that. We can go on little girl dates.
Mhm.
We can do all the stuff that you can do in a relationship, but not sexually. You know, the fun stuff.
Yep,
Mhm.
that's true.
Mm-hmm.
That's true.
Yeah.
And then you're fulfilled still.
Yeah.
Well, it depends on the person, but I don't go thinking, oh, why am I not in a relationship when I have those friendships filling in for whenever I'm by myself and feeling lonely. Hey, let's go do this. Let's just go to Walmart.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's all it takes.
Yeah.
I'm gonna add one more thing too, because physically, sometimes it's just like I ain't hug nobody. That's why when I be loving hugs. But I also I started getting massages so I could have that physical touch. Of course, when I could, you know. But that was one thing that helped too, is to like have the physical touch without that is getting some massages, somebody laying some hands on me. And
Massage sounds good
And
right
that's
about
just
now.
like massages is that release anyway. Even if, you know, not even just for that, but just releasing trauma out of your body in general. So massages are really, really beneficial. Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Nice.
Bro.
You remind me I need a massage.
Check.
Right?
I'll show
Right.
you boy.
Right.
Look. There.
What?
We need the male's perspective.
Tap it one more time. Oh, yeah.
Okay. What can you do? What are some things to do to relieve loneliness? In my single season, I realized something that I do to relieve my sense of loneliness is I start talking to myself more through journaling. Start asking myself questions more.
Oh, that's good.
Something that I take pride in about myself is I like to self-reflect.
Yeah.
I like, because I always feel like there's never a wrong time to try to improve on yourself.
Yeah.
Especially if what you want is to be with somebody for the rest of life, right?
Yeah.
So asking myself that in the hopes of preparing myself for the type of man that I want to be for my partner.
Yeah.
So self-reflecting, journaling, getting back to just doing things that I just like doing that gave me peace while I'm in my own space.
Yes.
Doing that. Then of course, yes, definitely hanging out with friends. You have to allow people to love you.
Yes.
You have to allow people to love you, and that's really hard. That's really hard.
That is hard. Like, really.
Yeah.
Really.
Because you start coming up with really good excuses why you do not want to be there, or why you shouldn't be there. But then you're like, no, let me go.
Yeah.
Let me go. Also, start doing things that you normally never would have thought of doing.
Yeah.
Or take some things that you learned to like while you were in a relationship and start doing that for yourself as a solo person. That's helped.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah.
True.
One thing that you did say about allowing someone to love you, I had to learn that too. I forgot about it because I'm used to it now. Because I have this thing with my friends where we don't hang up the phone unless we say I love you, whether it's a male or female. And if the guy doesn't want to, I'll wait on the phone like, I'm waiting.
Oh.
Because I want you to be comfortable with me and I'll be comfortable with you. So now it's gotten to the point where the guys are just like, love you. And I'm like, okay,
Train
Yeah.
them well.
But all of them have gotten it to be a thing where we don't get off the phone because you never know what's going to happen to somebody.
Right.
That's
Yes.
true. Yeah.
So
yeah.
I feel whatever I need in with these friendships and trying to take in that love while also loving them and self-care, of course, because that's another thing I forgot about. There's so many stages to being single that you forget.
Yeah.
So
it
many
is.
stages.
And there's
It
a
is.
book I recommend. It's called What a Time to Be Alone. What a Time to Be Alone. It's a nice, easy read, but that book really helped me in that season too. I can't think of the author name, but it's a colorful. It's pink and orange, but it's called What a Time to Be Alone.
I gotta look
Nice.
it up. Is it on Amazon?
Definitely.
It is, yeah.
Cool.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, do you have anything else to add?
Just thank you again.
Yeah.
Thank y'all.
Yeah.
Shout out to Visual
Thank you again.
Dynasty and the A-Team showing up outside on the front porch at the round table.
Front Porch Chronicles. Yes.
Yes, really.
There's nothing wrong with going back to the old school days, you know. There's nothing
Yeah.
wrong with taking it back old school, especially if
Yeah.
it works.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Well, with that being said, you guys,
All right.
this has been another episode of Visually Speaking. I am Kyle with Unpacking Everything, and we have
I am Shauna, your hostess with the mostest. With
Tamette with TFarri Soulutions, your favorite mindset coach.
The Avian, aka Deidre, with Abshot Royalty Photography.
and with that, we're signing off. Thank you guys.
We out.